Hey guys, Bitcoin George here. Just wanted to get on and talk a little bit of finance with you guys and see what's going on. Get some feedback. Apologize I haven't been around lately. Today I want to talk about a couple things, but this is just another economic update for you guys, so you can see what my mind is thinking and how I'm trying to better myself financially and get me closer to the end goal, which is still undecided, but it is ultimately to multiply my wealth to a point where, money is no longer a thing that matters to me. I want to amass so much wealth that I no longer have to worry about things like, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to buy a house? How am I going to pay for this, pay for that? That's my end goal. So that is the premise of this video, is just to show you guys, what I see going on in the markets right now. What am I doing to play that? What do I expect also in the short-term future, and how am I going to play that? So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of on defense right now. There's a ton of volatility in the market, and there's been a lot of pain lately, but frankly, I don't think we're even close to the bottom yet. A lot of people think that we had this big pullback in Bitcoin last week. Bitcoin went down like $6,000, something. I think it touched like 25,000, and it was like all the rage on Twitter and media and stuff like that. And stocks had a horrible week too. Walmart and Target came out last week with horrible earnings, which just highlights inflation even more. And I think a lot of people right now are kind of just like holding on with hopes that things are going to get better. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think this is just kind of a little stopping point right now where everything can kind of take a breather. And I think that's programmed by the government in order to prevent mass chaos. The government is trying to do this, like prevent a hard landing. But frankly, we're still at like 25,000 feet. We still got a long way to go before we hit the ground. So right now, I'm just playing defense. I'm really not buying anything right now. I don't want to buy anything until I know it's a crazy good deal. So the only things I really would buy right now is silver, and some of these altcoins. But I really wouldn't touch crypto right now unless you really, really know what you're doing. If you got it, just hold it, put it away, forget about it. With the metals, I want to buy silver right now, but it just really, really makes me mad when I go down and I see the spot price is 21, but I can't buy any silver for less than 26. And it just really, really makes me mad. And so I'm having a hard time justifying spending the money to buy more silver, but I got to take a step back and say, in a year, I believe silver will be triple digits. So paying $26 an ounce is a steal. And it is right now. Buying silver is a steal. It just really infuriates me to see the market not responding to the current economic conditions how I believe it should be. And maybe I'm young and naive and don't know any better, but frankly, I believe that silver is extremely undervalued right now. And like right now, I'm just trying to pay off all of my debts in order to make the next 1 to 2 years, which I believe is going to be probably the worst economic time of my generation's life. I think we're going into the Great Depression 2.0. I don't have any proof to say that's going to happen. I have a hunch just based on the fact that inflation is super crazy. And we got 1980 style inflation combined with the worst supply chain issues we've ever had. We're going to have food shortages. We're going to have fuel, energy shortages. So I'm just trying to pay off my debts so none of that stuff is holding me back when times get really hard. I'm trying to milk the last bit of this pristine, awesome economy we have, because I don't think it's here to stay. I think we're going to have a harsh period in the next 2 years. So what am I doing in a nutshell is I'm watching what I spend. I'm not spending as much money as I used to. I am paying down all my debts. So the extra money that I used to take and buy silver or cryptos or whatever, I'm paying off my debts, which is really not that much. And all of my debt is good debt. The only debt that I have is what I used to start a business, which is now producing cash flow. So the business is paying off the debt that I created. It's just it takes time, and that's the reality of it. Should I be buying more assets right now? I don't think so, because that's not what I'm doing. But if I was a high risk gambler, then yeah, I probably would be. But I'm trying to play smart and slow and playing the long game, and realizing that the sooner I get out of debt, the faster I can contribute 100% of my money to my investment portfolio. And I'm very, very close to that happening, so I just want to get this out of the way and do it. So right now, Bitcoin George the only thing I'm buying right now is stuff that I dollar cost average. And that right now, that's just Bitcoin. I dollar cost average Bitcoin every week. That's all I'm buying right now. But other than that, I haven't bought silver in like a month. Haven't bought any cryptos in a month. And I got a little cash put away, but like I said, most of my money is just going towards paying down debt. So that's what I'm doing. What is the market doing? The market is just getting slaughtered right now in response to the federal funds rate being raised. Unless they stop raising the funds rate, the market's going to keep getting slaughtered. I mean, it's pretty simple what's happening right now, and it's pretty easy to predict what's going to happen. Is the thing that's hard to predict is how much is the Fed going to raise the funds rate, and how long are they going to let the stocks and equities bleed out in order to prevent inflation. I'm not a statistical guy. I don't know how high it's going to get. I think if they put another 1% on the federal funds rate, if we get above 2%, I think the system will pretty much damn near implode, but I'm not a mathematician. I have no idea when it's going to happen. But so far we're at 0.75%, and you've lost 30% in the stock market in the last 6 months, and that you can't continue to do that and expect a good outcome. If they do it, hopefully inflation will stop. But the thing is, inflation is so much higher than the federal funds rate. Inflation right now is like 8.5%, 9%. The funds rate is somewhere between 0.5% and 1% right now. And it's having a major effect, which frankly just highlights the weakness in the U.S. economy. It's a house of cards. It can't handle a measly 25 and then a 50 basis point hike. So, it's a dumpster fire waiting to go up in smoke. And the best things that you can do to prevent yourself from that is be invested in physical, tangible, self-custodial assets. Cryptos, specifically Bitcoin. There's some other ones in there that I like, but just to keep it simple, we're just going to say Bitcoin. And then precious metals, gold, silver. There's other things you can buy that are good. You can stock up on food right now. I've been purchasing more food lately in order to avoid paying higher prices for it later, or avoiding a lack of food later. But yeah, the inflation is inflation is going to keep going crazy. I think I need to do a separate video on inflation just to speak about what's going on with inflation. But what do I expect in the next 3 months is we're going to see double-digit inflation. We're going to see another red quarter, and that will officially determine that we are in a recession. The mainstream media will admit it, and it will be chaos, except, frankly, at that point, most of the bleeding will be done. It's just the fact that we don't call it a recession because it's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. And I just see a lot of pain in the next 3 months. I see a lot of people who have worked hard their whole lives and put money into pension funds, and those pension funds have then taken that money and invested it into the stock market, and the stock market is going to get crushed. You're going to see all kinds of liquidity shortages. You're going to see major hedge funds going under because they're over leveraged. You're going to see real estate companies going under because they're over leveraged. A lot of people, the real estate stuff might take longer than 3 months, but I believe at the end of the second quarter, you're going to start to see foreclosures on the market. And that's a pretty bold statement. That might take a little longer, but you're going to see a lot of hurt in all markets, and except for safe haven assets, which is gold, silver. Right now, those are the only gold, silver, platinum, palladium, oil, things that just like absolutely we need are pretty much the only place to put your money right now. Cash, what is cash going to be like? Cash is going to be good for 3 months. I don't think the dollar is going to fall off a cliff just yet. I don't think that'll happen until the end of the year. I don't think the current administration will let the dollar collapse prior to the November midterm elections. So that's the other thing to take into account. A lot of this stuff might have to wait until Q4 or even Q1 of 2023, because that could be the perfect setup for Mr. Jeff Bergen, whose name shall not be spoken. But imagine this. Imagine if the Federal Reserve, the government, if they can keep inflation from getting to the point where people are starving and they can stop the system from imploding another 6 months. And right now the consensus, like overall, is that the party whose name starts with D, which we shall not name, led by Mr. Jeff Bergen, imagine if they can wait another 6 months before it to implode. And right now, like the consensus is that a lot of people are upset with the party that is in office currently. And if a lot of those senators and all those people that are up for election come November, if the results of these elections swings to the other side, to the party that starts with the R, and you get new people in office, and then all of a sudden, November, December, January, the system implodes right when the other party begins to take back Washington. How's that going to make them look? It's going to be the perfect setup for the party that starts with a D to hand the baton off right as the ship's going under, and then all of a sudden so-and-so gets blamed for the Great Recession 2.0 or the crash or whatever you want to call it. Honestly, that's a scenario that I could see playing out. Is it going to happen? I don't know. This is not financial advice. Just take this as a grain of salt. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I think the next thing I want to talk about is inflation and my theory on inflation. So So I apologize if this video was kind of disorganized, but I hope that you took something away from it. Right now, I'm just trying to refine my skills as a content creator and also as an investor myself. So if you took anything away from this, put it down in the comments. Let me know what stuck out to you so I can refine my skills and hone them better, and also touch up on some topics that you liked. So with that, I'm going to shut it down. You guys have a good night. Thank you.